it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Then I lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 3 times, and I had to put that one to bed. When you look at it, I'm interested to see what the addition of Adoree Jackson and McKenzie will be. The fact that they're healthy for the first time. And I want to see if the Eagles are going to put him at risk. They say that Jalen Hurts is healthy, but of course they're going to say he's healthy. You're never really healthy when you sustain an injury like that to the throwing shoulder. I want to see what happens, by the play call. If they're putting him at risk, if they're saying, okay, we're going to use his legs, make a play 11 on 11, then I give the big edge to the Eagles. But if he's playing from the pocket and they're going traditional with the offense, then I say that the Giants and Wink Martindale, by seeing this offense 3 times, is going to have some new wrinkles and is going to force Jalen Hurts to have to play football. Like, whenever you're the number 1 seed, you get that bye week, sometimes you come back and you're flat. The Giants have been playing for their football lives, for the last couple of weeks as they fought to get in here. If they get out early, which they can because it's a familiar opponent, a familiar foe, I think Daniel Jones is playing lights out. His performance solidified him. Listen, it wasn't about him as a talent, and maybe Dave Gettleman did get it right because I think he justified the pick. And I think this is the worst Daniel Jones we're ever going to see. He's never going to not have the type of weapons that he has now. He's doing more with less than any quarterback left within these playoffs. Right. I saw a decisive Daniel Jones, and I think that he's going to have probably the better statistic game. I just think ultimately the Philadelphia Eagles have the better team. But if I have to say better performance, if you're talking about winning by losing, like we saw last year, we saw Josh Allen win by losing. I think this is the same opportunity for Daniel Jones to win by losing, showing us how elite he can be and that he's worthy to be a franchise quarterback. But ultimately, I think Jalen Hurts gets the victory, but I think Daniel Jones shines more than Jalen Hurts.
Yo, Bart, that long-ass soliloquy ain't necessary. Giants don't stand a chance. It's a wrap. Season ends tomorrow night.
Well, Stephen, I once was told I didn't have a chance, too.
Hold up. Producers, 10:26, 32 seconds on Friday, January 20th. Okay, keep talking. We got it. I can't wait to play this on Monday.
They don't stand a chance. Really? They don't stand a chance. Let me tell you something right now. I'll take it back. I'll take it back, Bart. I'll take it back.
No,
the only chance they have is if Jalen Hurts is hurt. Jalen Hurts healthy. They're healthy enough. They don't stand a chance. They ain't winning this game. The Eagles, we've been saying all year long, is arguably the most complete team in football. The Giants have been compromised by injury. Even though we've seen some receivers step up, we get all of that. It's about Saquon Barkley, and we've seen an elevation in Daniel Jones. Brian Dable's a leading coach of the year candidate. He's done a fantastic job. The Giants have had a really good season, actually won a playoff game, and has advanced to the divisional playoff round in the NFC. What a phenomenal, phenomenal year. Congratulations. It ends tomorrow night. Floor is yours, RC.
First off, the floor was supposed to be mine based on what I was told before you started. But as we've seen with your lack of support of the show when you're away, you only care about yourself.
Thank you.
This is what we know now.
Never that. Never that.
It is only about you. Yeah. But I will say this. I don't want to be this guy, especially because my girl Molly is such a large Giants fan. We're looking at what Daniel Jones was able to do two times against the Minnesota Vikings and thinking to ourselves, this is who he is as a whole. The 2 games against the Minnesota Vikings were his best 2 games of the entire season. The only other game statistically that looked like that was against the Detroit Lions. Now, we know how bad both of those defenses are. Is Daniel Jones better? Absolutely. Has Daniel Jones shown that he deserves an opportunity to be the franchise quarterback of the New York Giants and get a new contract? Absolutely. Daniel Jones is not Jalen Hurts. Daniel Jones does not have the weapons that Jalen Hurts has on the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is going to have the better day. Jalen Hurts is the better player. Jalen Hurts is on the better team. What?
I was with you before you said he was a better player. I don't think that he's a more talented
I'm not a horse.
Dimes.
He's a Bart, don't you start this. Do you know how many times Daniel Jones has passed for over 230 yards this year?
I mean,
do you know?
Listen.
3.
Okay.
The Vikings twice. The Vikings have a worse defense than they would have if me and you right now started at linebacker and safety for them and can't neither one of us play no more.
Yeah, I'm done.
That was the team that Daniel Jones exploited. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones isn't good. What I'm saying is Daniel Jones is not what he was last week. You can't ask Daniel Jones to do that. The Vikings going into last week had 38 sacks. The Philadelphia Eagles going into this week have 70 sacks. The Vikings had an older Patrick Peterson and a third-string cornerback starting. The Philadelphia Eagles have Darius Slay and Bradbury starting. This is a different level of play. I expect Daniel Jones to be a good quarterback this weekend. He ain't better than Jalen Hurts. Daniel Jones is not a guy that is in the MVP conversation. Jalen Hurts was leading it upon being injured. I think Daniel Jones has done a really good job this year. I think Daniel Jones has proven he was worth the 6th pick of the draft. If you take this season and you go back to Jalen Hurts' draft class, Jalen Hurts has proven that he can be a 1st overall pick.
Okay.
We got to be able to say that.
Well,
let's keep it real, Ace.
I want to hear Bart's response to this.
RC, Daniel Jones, in my opinion, is a better quarterback from a talent standpoint. I think he's a better pocket passer. We didn't speak of Jalen Hurts in this regard.
Pocket passer
until they went out and got A.J. Brown. He has the best of everything. Like, listen, I think it's unfair for us to tell the people from a skill standpoint that Jalen Hurts is a superior quarterback to Daniel Jones. That remains to be seen.
RC, how do their weapons compare?
They don't compare. He has the best offensive line.
They don't compare.
Listen.
Environments matter. We thought Tua was a bum until this year.
This weekend is going to shift to Joe Burrow. And we will now have questions going into the offseason about Josh Allen, why he can't get over the hump. It's the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady syndrome, right? It's the he can't seem to get out his own way. It's the AFC East. It's the Dan Marino to Jim Kelly syndrome. Can't seem to get out of the East. That's what you're going to be looking at. And it is fair to question the perception of Josh Allen if he loses this weekend, just like we do everybody else. And Jay, you are right in a sense. When you're the number 1 overall pick, no matter what position you play, if you're not doing something that somebody thinks you should be doing, you're supposed to be the savior of a franchise. And if you haven't gotten them to where they feel they need to be, then they're going to look at you differently.
So, Key, I don't know why this name keeps coming into my head. And I know their games are very different. Their styles and their approaches are very different. But I kind of see it trending. If Josh Allen gets knocked out by Joe Burrow, gets knocked out by Patrick Mahomes, like this James Harden-like feel to it, right? Like he does so much during the regular season. An absolute beast, puts up incredible numbers, but when it gets to the playoffs and you feel like you need it, he can't get you over the hump. And I feel like that narrative around Josh Allen starts to become a really big thing. It already kind of became a thing last year, but the rule got changed now because of the way it went down with him and Patrick Mahomes, and now it starts to become a bigger thing, especially if Joe Burrow with this offensive line that is decimated finds a way to beat Josh Allen.
Let me give you another
Bills.
analogy. I think I get that. I feel the same thing. I think of it more like Elway. Elway, although he got to the Super Bowl, right?
Elway was going to the Super Bowl like we was eating Tic Tacs.
No question.
Man.
He got them to the Super Bowl, but he wasn't able to get over the hump till he really wasn't Elway anymore at the end of his career, and they got him a running back. Then he won back-to-back, right? But people forget the perception of Elway back then was, yeah, he's great. He's the chosen one. He's got all this talent.
Oh, my God. That's fair and true.
But Josh Allen, I can't say
it's Elway.
Going,
no, Max.
What's that?
But he was going.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
That's
but the analogy is this. He's like Elway light in his career. You can't call him Elway because Elway was winning playoff games, getting to the championship, and then losing. But it's like Elway light. When you look at the guy with the most stuff, you go, oh, my God, Josh Allen, the biggest arm. Everyone wants him to win. Everyone wanted Elway to win back then. But it was Joe Montana winning all the Super Bowls, right? It would feel not that because Joe Burrow hadn't won a Super Bowl either. But in this analogy, Burrow is like Montana, and Josh Allen's like Elway. The more talented kind of guy.
So what is Patrick Mahomes?
He's a whole different thing. Mahomes is just like, he's on his own. Mahomes has done it all. He's done it all. He's Marino meets Brady or so. Like he wins.
Marino didn't win nothing, though.
Exactly, yo.
No, right. He's Marino in terms of he's just better than everyone.
Is there any cushion?
Meets Joe Montana. He also wins more than anyone.
Is there any cushion for Josh Allen considering what happened